Hello, my friends, and welcome to the third season of Brand Your Dream Show. And today we're talking about advertising on Facebook. Today with us, Sam Peel, an amazing expert of Facebook marketing. So, hi, Sam, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Morning, Eve. Thank you very much for having me on your show. So, quick introduction about me. I'm Sam. I own Bite Me Marketing. We're a purposely small Facebook and Instagram ads agency that gets big results. We specifically work with coaches, course creators, mentors, public speakers to help them fill their programs, fill their webinars, their challenges, and ultimately get them new clients and increase their revenue.
You know, when you introduced yourself to me, what I loved, you said, like, we are not just monkeys who putting some buttons and things like this. We actually provide a lot of strategy and thinking behind the ads. And I love that. And pretty much that's the reason why we're talking today, because I love the strategy. I love when people put some thoughts and creativity behind advertising. Being 20 years in advertising and branding make me obsessed with people like yourself. So
We can nerd out together, Eve.
so let's dive deeper into the idea how advertising can actually be effective, because plenty of people do a lot of mistakes with that. Plenty of people believe that they will throw all their money to ads and somehow miraculously this money will work. But hint hint, ads work, not really money, and money as well involved. So we're going to discuss all of this today and in our next episode as well. So let's start with visibility, because most important question for many entrepreneurs, how much to show up? And they fed up sometimes with organic marketing because they have to be in every DM, in every video, everywhere. So they think, well, they can probably utilize some ads to show up more automatically. So tell me more about visibility from your perspective as Facebook ad marketer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really great question. Um, Now, one of the first things I'm actually going to say is we actually turn away more clients than we take on, and I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
As you kind of alluded to, lots of people think that Facebook ads or any advertising, whatever platform, is going to be a magic wand for your business. It's going to be a silver bullet. It's going to move the dial for you.
Mhm.
These platforms work, and they work really, really well, but they amplify what you're doing. So if you haven't done that organic piece, if you haven't worked out who is it that you help, who is it you work with, who is it your ideal clients, whether you are type of clients that we work with, coaches, course creators, whether you are a restaurant, whether you're bricks and mortar, whether you're a physical product, whether you're e-commerce, you still need to know who your ideal clients are. And you also need to know that the message resonates with them. And you learn all of those learnings by doing that organic, by doing that legwork of working out what resonates with your audience. Facebook advertising or other advertising platforms exist, but
Mhm.
Facebook advertising is amazing at amplifying. We know that organic reach is very low on these platforms, somewhere between 5 and 8%. So of all of your followers, only 5 to 8% of them will see any of your content. So it makes sense to advertise. But if you haven't done that groundwork and your offer isn't good, your messaging isn't good, your hook isn't good, you haven't found your crowd, your tribe, your clients, then you're just going to be amplifying that. And you're going to learn your lessons, but it's going to be a very expensive lesson to learn. So whilst it's a headache to be doing all of that organic, it really is time really well spent before you get anywhere near spending any money on advertising.
Exactly. I always talk about the research with my clients, and they hesitate to do that. They believe they can pay to some agency for the research, and many times research agencies come with very lame results. And I say, like, as you say, that food work, sorry, food work it's basically when we running around trying to understand what people think, we talk to them. We literally talk to people. Hey, many people avoid it. Personally, as an introvert, I avoided talking to people, following up after networking like for years. So I understand the pain. But if this work is not done, Facebook ads will not work for you. Programmatic ads will not work for you. Any type of ads won't work for you because, as you say, this is brilliant, brilliant thing. It's amplifying what you found. Love you for that.
The
Thank you.
best ad in the world will not fix an offer that doesn't resonate or a service or product that there just isn't any demand for. So
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
boring doing your research. I know it's not exciting, and when you're a creative and a big picture person, it's really dull to do the detail, but
Yeah.
it's needed.
Yeah, it's just not only for creative people. Most of the people really avoiding research, and that's the biggest mistake I think, from my perspective, from you as well as I see. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the biggest tip. So let's go to authenticity, and that's an interesting perspective which I want to take in this part because what you said, I think it's something which many people don't understand either, because when we talk to our followers, and as you said, 8% or 12% of reach, which is little kind of amount of people who are around you on your profile or something like this, you literally talk to people in person through DMs, and it's a tough work. But when we talk to people who we know from our groups or from some networking, they know us and conversion rate is higher. But when we talk through ads, we talk to much wider audience who is primarily cold audience, and they have no clue who you are. And there are different types of suggestions and psychological ideas how we apply our message to people with cold audience, warm audience, and hot audience. So what is your recommendation in terms of the authentic message on all these three different stages? Because I think the level of authenticity and the approach to the message has to be different. What are your thoughts about that?
Um, yeah, I think I agree to a certain point. I think the message needs to be different as you take someone through that journey of know, like, and trust with you. However, fundamentally, at the core of this will be your beliefs and what you hold to be true, which should be very apparent when someone sees your brand. So I'll use my own business as an example. It's actually taken me a long time to kind of work out what our authentic brand voice is, and it's for lots of different reasons. It's for the little voices that we have in our heads, our imposter syndrome, our lack of confidence sometimes, that can I really be me in my, or can our brand, because my business started out as me, we've now turned into an agency, but ultimately when you're growing a business it is you to begin with, and you'll have all these voices kind of saying, oh, should I put myself out there? What if people don't like me, etc. So I personally have done a lot of work around authenticity in our business, but really it's kind of drilling down into your beliefs and your ethics and what you hold to be true and how you want to turn up and serve your clients, what you want to do for those clients, really getting very, very clear on what that is, and then leaning into it, really leaning into it, so that, as I say, talking about my own brand, we're a Facebook ad agency, but actually, if you see any of our brand messaging, it's quite upbeat. Our name of the business is Bite Me Marketing, so Bite Me, it's already quite cheeky. But a lot of the ads that we run, a lot of the posts that we do, it's very much humor driven. So we're taking the mickey out of ourselves. We're taking the mickey out of the challenges that people have on Facebook. We're talking about, the frustrations of, one of our clients was up at 4 o'clock in the morning before they were working with us, checking their Facebook ads. So we make kind of jokes around the situation that our clients find themselves in. So our brand voice is very much, yeah, we're going to get you results, but it's going to be fun while we get there. So what I would say about authenticity is, you're going to have a slightly different conversation, as you said, as someone goes through that customer journey with you. But ultimately, underneath all of it, there needs to be this consistency in what it's going to be like to work with you, and what that experience is going to be like, and what that transformation is going to be like. So I hope that kind of answered the question.
I am totally on consistency, absolutely. When I was talking about the difference, I was talking about the sales aspect of the message,
Okay.
because obviously, when we talk about the percentage, which is usually recommended by experts, which is like 60% of branding and 40% of sales activation, I usually say that we're supposed to do lesser sales, like on the front line, on a bigger side of our funnel, because we actually do a lot more of introduction messages and emotionally connected messages rather than hardcore sales. And like when we talk to our hot viewers, our hot customers, we really can introduce some products, again, not necessarily in a salesy manner or something like that, but most likely from the statistic part, if we will just go hardcore sell with a really expensive product. When we talk about coaches, a program start from like 2K and more. If we will just start advertising it like this for people who have no clue who these people are, it most likely won't work. Am I right in this part?
Yeah, absolutely. No one wants to be sold hard to. However,
Exactly.
what I am going to throw in into the mix is that with working with our clients and with kind of we're constantly looking at customer journeys and how long it takes for our clients to move a cold audience through warm to being a customer. We see two types of buyer.
Mhm.
So we see a fast lane swimmer buyer. These are my terms: fast lane swimmers and slow
Mhm.
lane swimmers. Now, ultimately, those two are still going to get to the same destination. They're still going to get to the end of the swimming pool. They're still going to purchase from you. Some might get out of the pool at the sides and they're not interested, and that's absolutely fine. But your two swimmers, they're both going to get to the destination. It's just going to take different times. So the fast lane swimmers are the people who know that they have a problem and of trying to find that issue, irrespective of what you sell, because we're all looking for transformation in everything we buy. So the fast lane swimmers know they have a problem and they're just looking for the right person to work with. So if you don't offer them an opportunity to work with you, doesn't have to be hard sales, but if you don't offer them an opportunity to buy from you, they'll go and find someone else because they don't know how you can help them and they don't know that you can even work with them, and they've already gone. So you do still need to have those sales in there,
Mhm.
give them an opportunity, and probably a lot earlier. I personally have bought things from people very, very quickly because I know, right, I've got a need for this. Oh, you look good. Do my
Mhm.
quick due diligence. Great, I'll buy from you.
Mhm.
Job done. I've had clients come to me that literally see an ad, like the ad, come through my discovery call booking, jump on a call with me, and then they book with us and they work with us for years off of one ad in a meeting. But then you've also got your slow lane swimmers, and these are the more kind of considered buyers. And these are the buyers that want to check you out for a little bit longer. They're going to take their time. There's nothing right or wrong with either of them, but they are going to do more due diligence and they want to be nurtured and they want a flavor of what it's like to purchase from you. And
Mhm.
so it's just making sure that you don't just focus on the fast lane swimmers, or you don't just focus on the slow lane swimmers and you miss these guys as well. You give both of them an opportunity to have those boxes ticked so that they can work with you and get the transformation they're looking for. So
That's interesting approach. And to be honest, it means that we basically need to apply this 80 40% to each element of the funnel. That's what you're
yeah,
saying. So
I mean,
basically, most of the people try to apply it like, from top to down. But what you say, we basically divide it in the middle and we use it like, so it's a very different approach to me visually. I mean, as I see it.
yeah, I to be honest, I think
Mm.
because I'm quite resistant of weirdly, even though a lot of what I do is actually quite technical and number
Uh-huh.
based. Um, and it's probably why I work with coaches who are kind of mavericks and mavens and really creative people. Sometimes we can't just kind of put it into strict percentages, which I know probably doesn't help anyone watching this because you want a
Mhm.
formula, but you'll get a feel. You'll just get a feel for coming back to authenticity. You'll
Mhm.
get a feel once the more you do it and the more of that organic, you will just get a feel for what your audience want, what they respond to. And quite often people actually do want an opportunity. They want you to make it really easy for them to buy from you and for it to be a great experience. And they, and if you then deliver and you deliver well, they'll be your customers for life.
Speaking about numbers, to be honest, I think that people who would potentially find us through search or something like that, because we talk about Facebook advertising, they will be looking for numbers, they will be looking for statistics, or they will be impacted by statistics and number. And that what you're saying is really important, because it's again the balance. It's always a creativity versus numbers and things like this, where I completely agree with you. But there are a lot of concepts specifically in Facebook advertising, which are, or programmatic, which are based completely on numbers, statistics, and things like that, and teach the creativity away. They're like, yeah, creativity is important. That's maximum they give to it. It's important. Thank you. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about numbers. And they're talking about different aspect of it, which I'll not say pleasing me or not pleasing me, because as a host, I am not take sides. I'm just asking questions, but I love the approach, really, really, really. So thank you for that. Now, what I wanted to ask as well, basically about the creativity. We have different type of formats, and I want to hear your experience, because I personally created several videos on how Facebook marketing worked, and it changes consistently. One type of content popular today, another type of content popular tomorrow, and then another part of content died, and we keep forgetting about this newest types of content. So what is working right now? What do you think working for Facebook ads versus organic posts?
Okay, so I'm going to be straight up here. My area of expertise, our agency, is paid ads. We do organic for our own business, but we don't do it for any of our clients. So I'm probably not the person to really speak expertly about organic.
You're doing organic for your business. You are pretty much expert in that, having your expertise in paid. So yeah, I want to hear from you about that.
I'm going to be really controversial, and you might not like the answer I'm going to give. At the moment, we are seeing plain old boring static ad images, so plain images in the newsfeed working. And I know that's not sexy, and I know we've talked about reels and stories and stuff sort of separately to this conversation, and I'm not saying they don't work, but I think what we need to be really careful about is Facebook and Instagram, all of these platforms, they're watching each other. They're watching TikTok, they're watching Snapchat, they're giving a cursory glance to Twitter, to LinkedIn, to Pinterest, to all these kind of new emerging messaging platforms. They're constantly watching each other, and they're seeing the rise of challenger brands. And then let's not say they're copying them, shall we? But let's just say they're introducing new products and placements to their own platforms that might look very similar to what you're seeing elsewhere.
Yeah.
These can work. And if you feel, my attitude is always, if you feel like you love creating video, you yourself are brilliant in front of a camera, this is your zone of genius, then lean into that, because that will work for you. That will work fantastically. If you're someone that hates video, then I could turn around to you and say, you've got to be creating reels, you've got to be on TikTok. It won't work for you, because you're going to just look stiff and uncomfortable, and it won't come across. So I would much rather say to people, forget the shiny syndrome of this is new and everyone's going here. Forget that. Where you are in your business right now, forget that, and lean into your strengths. What are you good at? So I've got some clients who are brilliant on video, are just great on video. So we lead with video, and we don't necessarily go, oh, it's just going to be reels, or it's just going to be stories. No, we run those videos across every single placement we can to get them as much reach as they possibly can, as many placements as we can on that platform. I've got other clients who are not as confident on video. They're really not. So it would be crazy for me to asking them to spend lots of time doing videos, and we then run kind of like static ad placements, etc. So for each of our clients, it is slightly different. But what I think, if you're going to take anything away from this, is, yeah, go and have a dabble with reels. Go and do you love that? That, you know, is this is your space, in which case it'll work for you. Don't worry about some guru somewhere sat there telling you you have to do the shiny new thing, and then you drag yourself there like fingernails screeching on the table because you really don't want to do it. Don't do it. Okay. Don't be tempted in with a shiny new thing. Know your zone of genius and lean into that, because these platforms work. All of these placements work. Go with what really suits you and your brand voice. So
I
probably
100% agree.
controversial, and you probably didn't want to hear that answer.
I 100% agree with you, surprisingly for you. The thing is, like, I teach people video in video challenge for a reason, because when we show up confidently on our calls
Yeah.
is important. And to me, video, live video specifically, is a very strong trigger for fears. This is when your fears, you have a fear response, and this is when you can the fastest way to recognize your fear and work with them. So this is a reason why I use live video as a trigger for fears, and then it makes you more confident with my programs. But it doesn't mean that I suggest to do reels or videos or something like this to everybody. So video is a very different animal. It's good to know, it's good to have the skill. It doesn't mean you need to use it as a main vehicle. And personally, I didn't make any reels in my life, so yeah. And it's okay. So it's not my type of format. I love long videos, podcasts, things like that, and I do them because I love them, and I love to hear answers like this because I love controversial answers pretty much. You know.
Good.
So, thank you for that. Yeah, it's really interesting because I think the healthy mix of different types of mediums is important, and healthy way to repurpose your content is also important, because some people are visual, some people are audio. Nowadays we have Clubhouse, we have audio events on LinkedIn. It's like new wave of doing different medium, new shiny object. So, you know, these things are powerful, but it doesn't mean we all need to jump into this idea of something new. It does work on a certain extent organically, especially. And if you can, as you said, like if you're keen to do it, that's a good idea to follow. But if you're not, definitely do what works best for you. 100% agree.
And if you made a really good point in the middle of that, is you're also considering your audience.
Yes.
So your customers. How do they want to consume your media?
Yes.
You know, I love videos, but I've got to be in the right, and I love podcasts and I love audiobooks, and I consume a lot of those because I've got a dog and I dog walk. And when I'm in the car, to be honest with you, radio irritates me. So I just can't stand the franticness, especially of commercial radio. And so I love listening to an audiobook or a podcast. And I'm a real business book nerd anyway. I absolutely love reading business books.
Mm-hmm.
Then if someone sends me a voice message through WhatsApp, it irritates the hell out of me.
Yes.
Send me a text message, and I can skim read it and get back to you.
Yes.
So you've got to give people the opportunity, if you can, to consume your content in a way that they're comfortable with.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a really, really good point. Really good point.
Audio messages irritates me as well. That's true.
Sometimes I send them and I think, what are you doing? They irritate me. It's like,
Exactly.
I gotta consume your stuff on your time frame, not mine.
Yeah, it was a very old example, like in one of the classic marketing things, is when we consider our audience, how our audience reach their work. So if they're in Tube or something like this, do they have internet to access your content? For example, for written content, it can be accessed or downloaded without internet. Thinking about that, you know, so you can save it somehow or something like this. Audio content, again, is it downloadable so somebody can actually listen to that without internet? Because internet is not always accessible, and it's really, really irritating when, like, you know, you listen to something, it's stuck in the middle, and then 1 hour you don't have internet somewhere here in London in a tube. So yeah, you know.
And if I'm gonna take us off onto a really weird tangent, and you might end up editing this off, but it just what popped into my head as well was, and I don't know whether this was a good strategy or not. you maybe you can make your mind up on this, but it's made me also think about how people are using outreach, like direct message outreach, for their marketing, and using different formats in that. So a mixture of text and voice message and video. And it makes me think of this one guy sent me a video message through LinkedIn. I will always watch video messages, direct messages, but he was naked from the waist up. This video on LinkedIn comes up in my inbox.
But you remember him.
He was naked from the waist up. And I'm like, I realise this is LinkedIn. That he's not. I'm 48 years old. I don't even know where people send half naked videos. I'm just not that era. I'm just not. And I'm a little bit Victorian as well. As it happens, I did watch the video. And as it happens, I did end up, I've got to go down his funnel now. I've got to see where he's leading me, because this is intriguing. And he did end up getting me on a discovery call with someone who was then trying to sell me a $5,000 course, which I didn't buy. But it worked to kind of get me on there. But I don't know why my brain just took me off onto that tangent, but I wanted to share that story in case anyone was kind of thinking half naked videos in LinkedIn might work for you.
Yeah, just to mention, we're not recommending to everybody put half naked videos. So that is not our main suggestion, unless
it's
it makes sense
your brand
for you.
And your brand voice. It's
In
certainly
fact,
not something I'm going to be doing.
In fact, when you're saying that, I probably know who it is. But
we'll compare notes afterwards, shall we?
Exactly. So this is an interesting thing. The way how we grab attention really depends on our audience and our brand message, because sometimes it can irritate people and sometimes it can attract people. And in many cases, it can make you memorable, but you need to know, do you really need to be remembered like that?
I've not bought from him. Let me just say that. I didn't buy from him.
It didn't convert, but it made him memorable. So,
I don't think it'll ever convert.
Always a question, what is more important for you, to be memorable or get conversion? So yeah, big question. Oh God. So back to our best tips now. This probably was your first best.
not be naked. That's not one of the best.
So not be naked. That was just like a pre-tip. Let us go to real tips now.
Okay, well, the first tip we've kind of covered already, which really isn't to come into Facebook advertising thinking it's a magic wand. Mm-hmm. If you don't have your offer right, and by offer, I'm not saying the price or the package or whatever. When I'm talking about offer, I'm talking about what you are offering them, the service, the product, the transformation you're offering. If you haven't made sure that you have a hungry audience for it, people who have a need, then the best advertising in the world is not going to fix that. So go away. That's the first tip. And, if you take nothing else away from this, make sure you've done that. As I said, we've turned away more clients than we've taken on, because we just say to them, look, I don't quite think you're ready. And that's nothing against your product or your service. It's not that I don't believe in you. It's more that you just need to go and make sure that there is a demand for this. And then when we know there's a demand for this, that's when you invest your money in scaling, in amplifying, in getting new clients. Because I can help you spend money on Facebook. Facebook, I'm more than happy to take your money, let me tell you. But yeah, I can just leave a pause there and we can all fill the gap.
That would be especially those who spend money on Facebook ads. Yeah,
it's very easy to.
You can pause the video and cry somewhere there and then get back.
Absolutely. The next thing is really understanding what you want your ad to achieve before you go into it. And again, these tips aren't necessarily just for Facebook. These are for any paid advertising you're doing, and really any post that you're doing as well. And you need to think about your message being a baby step. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't go and, let me use a slightly different analogy. You wouldn't go and train a puppy and say, right, sit, stand, roll over, play dead, beg, bark all at once, because the puppy's just going to go, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do. You take one of those and you lean into that, don't you? You make sure that the puppy understands you want it to sit, you want it to sit, you want it to sit, and that's all your focus is. Take that to your Facebook ads as well, and take that to your objectives. So if you're running an ad, don't sit there and think, well, what I'd like the ad to do is I would like someone to watch a video, click through, sign up for a lead magnet, buy something, get on a call with me, upgrade to a £5,000 high ticket offer. They're unlikely. One ad is not going to be able to do all of those things for you. Yes, your funnel, your customer journey, you will lead them through those stages, but that's the whole journey. And then upsells and lifetime value, etc. It goes on and on and on. Think about right here and now. What does this ad want? What do I want the ad to do for me? So I want the ad to speak to people who want my service. I want those people to click through to a landing page and sign up for something. But the ad itself is just getting them through to your website. So that's what it needs to focus on. And it needs to focus on the benefits and the transformation that you bring, not what you're going to deliver for them. So just the second tip for you is, what is that objective? What do I want it to do right here, right now? There are no hacks. In fact, hack is a word I absolutely vehemently hate. It means old, hackneyed, done before. It's kind of like a dirty, horrible word. So when people tell me, oh, have you got a hack for... No, I haven't got any hacks, because that's trying to find a shortcut, and there are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There are no shortcuts. There's no tripping Facebook into, tricking them into doing this for you. And I'm going to show you how to trick Facebook and how to trick the system. No, you don't want to get involved in any of that. You just want to be really clear about what you want this ad to do, and then go ahead and create your ad to do that. So it's really about clarity and about baby steps and about thinking through that journey. The next tip I have, are you okay for me to kind of rattle through at the moment?
Absolutely. I wanted to point one thing which you mentioned, which I think fundamental in this tip as well. You said show them transformation, because when I teach people to create content for their brands, focus on transformation. Don't focus on the how you deliver this. They have no idea how you deliver this. They don't need to know how you deliver it, because until they reach out, all they need to know, you understand their problem, you understand their dream, and you can deliver the transformation between pain to gain. That's it.
Well, a little teaser for the next interview, if anyone's listening to this now and they are really interested in this, I've actually got a little exercise that we can run through on how exactly to nail that message.
Perfect.
So tune in for the next episode where I'm going to dive really deep into it and give you an absolute practical thing that within 12 to 15 minutes you will have nailed your message. And that will be the best 12 to 15 minutes you will invest in your business, in my opinion, for your marketing.
I love it already. Move on to the next third tip.
A little bit, but don't sit there yet. Keep watching this, because we've still got loads of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. And look in the links below, subscribe and all the things.
All those call to actions. Yeah.
Third tip.
And actually, we've already kind of talked about this as well, but I'm going to turn this into a tip. So I don't just want you to take this. We were talking about it in terms of context of leaning into what you're good at. Mm-hmm. Use all of the placements available. So what I see a lot of people doing is they will create one thing. They will create a story and they will run a story ad, or they will create a static ad for the news feed and they will only run with that. When you set up a Facebook ad, it gives you the opportunity to upload multiple sized static creatives and multiple sized video creatives. Your ad will then be placed in Facebook will just see all of the creative that you've given them in the one ad, and then it will deliver it into the different placements, allowing you to be seen in as many places as possible. And just remembering that Facebook it's machine intelligence. It learns from your ads. It learns who resonate, who responds to it, who clicks, who takes those actions. So the more opportunity you give Facebook by giving them this raft of different creatives, the more opportunity you give Facebook to learn, the better your advertising will perform. And the cheaper your ads will become, because Facebook rewards good advertising. Facebook wants, and we're going into kind of like some big thinking here, but Facebook wants the best possible experience for their end user. Ultimately, you might be cynical and go, of course they're commercial and they want to make money, but ultimately they're all about giving the end user the best possible experience. Why? Because if the best possible experience, they'll keep coming back and they'll return time after time after time after time. Facebook can then make more money out of them. So
Right.
but that is the first thing that Facebook's looking at. Give Facebook every opportunity to learn which of your advertising works in which placement. Your Facebook advertising will perform better. Facebook will look and go, look, this ad, well, the machine will, not a real human being, this ad is, and they grade you as well, above average with engagement. Wow, it's above average with conversions. It's above average with value in the newsfeed. We're going to show this ad more. So it makes your advertising cheaper, as opposed to another ad that isn't performing very well, no engagement, no response, no one's clicking on it, no one's stopping and looking at it. Facebook will still let you spend your money, but then they're going to show it to less people. So it makes your advertising more expensive. Unlike kind of traditional media, where there is a price to advertise in a newspaper, and this is the flat fee for a half page, a quarter page, etc. Facebook rewards good advertising. So give it every opportunity to make your advertising cheaper.
This is fantastic. This is something I didn't know.
It's why it's so tricky when people say to me, how much is it going to cost me to do this? It's almost like the opposite way round.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, I can give you industry standards and kind of what we're seeing at the moment, but I can't make promises to my clients. No one can. If anyone gives you a promise about how your Facebook ads are going to perform and what they're going to achieve, it's impossible, because it's a moving target. It's a bidding platform, so it changes constantly. But if you bear in mind, you create the best possible ad that people really love. And it's why you've done all that organic work, why you've really nailed your messaging and who you're talking to. You can get really cheap advertising and it works really, really well.
I love it. I absolutely love it. How people can connect with you.
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram. My name is Sam Pilling. I might be Samantha Pilling in some places. And also you can find me at my website, which is Bite Me Marketing. That's Bite Me Marketing, and it's .co.uk. So anyone that's not in the UK, .co.uk or .co.uk as we say it over here.
Excellent. All the links will be in description below. And in our next episode, we're going to talk about Facebook marketing again. And Sam will share with us a lot more interesting ideas and tips and how to not do mistakes in marketing, which potentially can make you spend more money and get little results. But she will teach you how to get results, spend lesser money, and something interesting, that what she promised just now. So stay tuned, subscribe, and watch our next episode. And love this episode. Put likes, comments, and we will make our best to answer your questions. See you next time. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.